there is a place where competition is fierce. The power is unlimited.
I understand that Baja is based on a real-life competition. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I alluded to the Baja 1000. You know, that's a race that's held once a year down in, it starts in Ensenada, Mexico and ends up down in Cabo San Lucas. The real version of the Baja 1000 is a real 1,000-mile race that takes about 27 hours to run in the fastest vehicles. It takes about 35 to 40 hours to run in the slowest vehicles. But our simulation of that, we pack that down to a 4-hour experience. But we also have a Baja 250 and a Baja 500, which are about 45 minutes and 90 minutes respectively. So, again, that's just one mode in our game. Baja is really about the Baja Peninsula of Mexico and racing in southern Arizona, northern Mexico, up and down the Baja Peninsula, like what you see in the simulator behind me.
With Motorstorm around, why should we bother with Baja?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Motorstorm's a great game, and those guys are really good at what they do, but Baja is a completely different driving experience. Our driving experience is what we call a reactive race engine. And what I mean by that is when you're racing on like a Formula One course or a perfectly groomed paved course, anytime something goes wrong, it's your fault. You oversteered, you understeered, you gave it too much gas. But when you're racing in a true desert race environment where the terrain is endlessly deformed, the terrain is going to hand you difficulties that you have to react to yourself. So this game is not only about proactively steering the car, it's about reactively steering it as well. To that end, our physics simulation is much more of a simulation than an arcade game. We have a complete damage and repair system. We have a helicopter and chase truck support that you can call in to repair you when you get damaged. You can get a flat tire and pull over and repair yourself and get, fix your flat. So it's just a completely different play experience. There's no bikes and no motorcycles in this game. We made games like, I designed ATV Off-Road Fury a few years ago and MX Unleashed, before that Motocross Madness. So we have like 10 years of experience with making off-road games. When you get a chance to play Baja for yourself, you'll realize that it really is an evolution of thinking in what off-road racing games can be all about. And literally even racing games for that matter. You play any circuit-based Formula One or rally-style racing game, once you memorize the track, it becomes an experience about trying to replicate that perfect line around the track. But our Baja 1000 experience, which is just one mode in our game, we have over 95 tracks in the game, but our Baja 1000 experience is a 4-hour drive through 300 miles of never-repeating terrain. You've never played a game before where you can actually drive for 4 hours and never see the same thing twice, let alone the same bump in the road twice. So desert racing, in its authentic form, is really about seeing the terrain, making analysis of what you see, dealing with all the hassles and uh-ohs that the terrain hands you, trying to do it while not destroying your vehicle along the way. So while Motorstorm and Dirt and Baja are really in the same genre, they're a completely different play experience that it's not just marketing hype. You've never driven a racing game like Baja before. We have a new mode in the game called Open Class Challenge. And what's really cool about that, it's hard to innovate new racing modes. Racing is going round and round on a track or racing an A to B race in a rally race. So the hill climb mode is really innovative in the sense that the object of the game is to race up these ridiculously steep mountains and then race back down it, race around the mountain and do it a second time. So it's a 2-lap race up and down these mountains, but it's a finesse event. For every part that you break on your vehicle while racing up and down the mountain, we're going to add a penalty time to you at the end of the race. So even though we give you these ridiculously powerful off-road vehicles, the hill climb races are really a finesse event about trying to get up and down the mountain while not rolling the vehicle or smashing into other vehicles. It adds, it's kind of a bull in the china shop kind of thing. It's a new experience that you haven't played before. Another really cool thing what we have is called the Open Class Challenge. It really bothered me when we started working on the game that I have these wide range of vehicles ranging from 80 horsepower Volkswagens all the way up to 1,000 horsepower trophy trucks. So how do I make an event where all these vehicles across 9 different performance ranges can all race together competitively? And the answer to that is our Open Class Challenge event. So again, it's a 2-lap race, but what we do is at the beginning of the race, we pre-space each of the vehicles on the course, where the trophy truck, the fastest class out there, it starts right at the start-finish line, but then the Beetle is about 2/3 of a lap ahead of the trophy truck at the start of the race, and each class after it is several hundred feet behind, pretty evenly spaced out. So the way it works out, if every vehicle out there drives absolutely perfectly for 2 laps, all 9 vehicles will get to the finish line at exactly the same time. And that's really cool because in most racing games, we all start as a pack, but then we get what we used to call lonely racer syndrome, where the vehicles all start spreading out, and by the end of the race, you may cross the finish line solo, basically by yourself. But in the Open Class Challenge, all the vehicles come together right at the end, which makes for really exciting finishes. And so you have an equal chance to win in the Volkswagen just by holding everybody off those last couple of turns. But in the trophy truck, as you come into the last couple turns and this whole accordion is compressing down, you have 8 guys to pass in like 3 turns right at the end. It's a really exciting new race mode because, like I said, it's difficult to innovate new things in racing. So both our hill climb and our open class challenge are true innovation inside the sport of racing. Everything we do in single player, we support in multiplayer. So we have circuit racing, we have free ride mode, like our worlds are gigantic, 25 square mile worlds with no boundaries whatsoever. You'll never run into an invisible wall or a wall that forces you to stay on the course. We have anything you see in the game, you can drive to it. You can do circuit races, hill climb mode, our rally race mode, all of the Baja simulations, and our hill climb. So all 6 modes in the game are available with up to 10 players in multiplayer. Baja's coming out on both the Xbox and the 360, and it'll be out this August.
How much tits and ass will there be in the game?
Oh, that would be directly proportional to the amount of hookers and blow.